Georgia?
Why travel to Georgia?
I don't know. We've traveled there before.
Yeah, we explored like TBILISI for about like 2.5 months, 3 months.
And then some Kutaisi a little bit
Yes,
for like
very briefly.
2 days. And we're gonna be back. We own a car in Georgia, so we're coming back.
We're gonna drive that car all over.
We are. We're gonna go to this mountain and climb to the top of it.
Easy. We got all the gear to do that.
But yeah, we do. We can just... We love Georgia. Georgia is one of my favorite countries I've ever been to.
Yeah, I mean, he's been to a lot of countries, so that's big coming from him. I haven't been to that many, but it's still got like a special place. It's definitely on the top of the list.
So, the food, delicious. The nature, amazing. The city, beautiful. And let's see why to travel to Georgia. See if we agree with these things. And for you guys, check out our vlog channel.
Yes, if you want to see all of our experiences, why we love Georgia so much, there's a ton of them up there. We have a few more coming still.
See our adventures. We saw the city. We ate some of your foods. What are our thoughts? Find out down in the link in the description. Let's do this. Why to travel to Georgia? Because there's horse?
What's up, beautiful people?
Thank you.
Today's video is all about Georgia. It's beautiful, it's friendly, it's delicious, it's exhilarating, and I think it should be right at the top of your travel list.
I love that. I got that all the time. Yum.
Potatoes.
After a month-long trip all around Georgia, I'm going to be talking about the top 10
month?
things that we love the most while traveling
Week.
this country.
I like how he was there for a month. We were there for like 3 months. He's showing all these mountain shots and stuff. We didn't even get to go to the mountains yet. That's how much slower we were traveling.
We sat in an apartment a lot of the time and played Minecraft. Because it was cold outside.
It got really cold, unfortunately, and then it started snowing a ton.
You know this winter was cold. We did not expect it to be that cold. We got there first day, it was like 50 degrees, and we're like, oh, yeah, baby.
We're from a place that's even colder than this, like way colder. We'll be out every day. This will be perfect.
When we left, it was negative 24 degrees Fahrenheit here. When we got to Georgia, the next day, it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a 70-degree difference.
We were so happy.
And then it got cold.
You should go there ASAP.
Right there.
The city.
Number one
We haven't seen it
is
that green.
Tbilisi, the amazing capital city and honestly one of my favourite cities in the world now. It's got good food, beautiful views, and it's got so many opportunities for exploration, but it still feels manageable, it still feels relaxed, and it doesn't feel like you can go too far wrong by spending a few days there. You can get a cable car up to a century-old fortress, or a funicular up to an old Soviet theme park, or you can spend time exploring back streets and the hipster areas with paintings and graffiti all over the walls, and even stay in one of these hipster areas in one of the most famous hostels in all of Europe called Fabrica. Or you can do like we opted to and stay in the old town with its narrow, winding streets on the side of the hill.
We stayed in Sabutalo.
We watched the Sabutalo
Next up, we've got
soccer
the
game,
mountains.
football game.
Honestly, the best days that we had were spent in the mountains. We hiked, we got
view.
4x4s, we went to glaciers, we went over ridges. The views were insane, and
Gosh.
the rugged beauty of Georgia
That kid's got a
is
spear.
pretty unparalleled in my mind. I haven't traveled to anywhere quite like it, where you'll have the wild horses and the wild cows walking past you, or you'll be crossing over glacial streams coming down from further up the mountain. You can't talk about a trip to Georgia and not talk about the mountains.
Wow. The heck.
Makes us so sad because we really wanted to get into the mountains, but
The Russians came and it got very expensive for us to stay there. So we went to India.
Number 3 is the food.
I'm so hungry right now.
It really
That looks
was
so
some of the
good.
best food I've had on my travels. If
So
you
hungry.
like cheese and you like bread, then Georgia absolutely has you covered. Our favourite was probably the khachapuri, which is, well, it comes in many different ways, but our absolute favourite was this kind of boat of bread filled with cheese and an egg yolk and butter, and I mean, it probably isn't good for the heart and the arteries, but it is just
Definitely not.
so
It
so
fills you
good
up
for
so
the
much.
soul. Another of my favorites was ojakuri,
Ojakuri,
which is a pork dish with fried
Love.
potatoes and onions and peppers and spices. It was just so tasty. We also tried hinkali, which is this dumpling dish, and they can be
Tasty.
filled with meat or cheese or potato.
They give
And
you
in
some gnarly
general,
burps.
I'd say
She's
it's a
not
good place
eating
to
it
travel
right.
if you're a vegetarian
George taught us how to eat it.
Yeah, George. Thanks, George. If you're watching our video. I don't know
because
if you are.
a lot of the dishes are based around the bread or the cheese or the really fresh salad. And there are a lot of meat dishes if that's what you're after as well, but
like
it's
meat.
not difficult to stay away from the meat at all. I also really back the wine ice cream that we tried.
Wine ice cream.
That ice cream
And that
parlor
brings us
that
nicely on
we
to
saw were
number
like ice
4,
cream.
the
Looked like
wine.
it was in that
It's
area.
cheap and it's really good. In some restaurants we'd pay 10 lari or around £3 for a litre of homemade wine that tasted really good.
much
Kakheti
of,
is the most famous
alcohol
wine producing
piece?
region in the country and is only a few hours from Tbilisi and can even be done on a day trip. When we went, we stayed there for a few nights and stayed in the City of Love, Signagi, and we went on a wine.
That's it, right? That fortress up there? Or is that a different city?
What is this?
It looks like the city that on the way there that maybe that's not the same one. Where you
Oh.
cracked your knee. Maybe it's just.
I don't think
similar
there was
vibe.
houses this high.
No, there wasn't. There
Wine
wasn't.
tasting.
There was a city we found in the mountains, and I got absolutely clockered by the snow and a rock on my knee. I didn't walk very well for the rest of the hike.
Trip, and it was just set amongst the beautiful hillsides, and it was just absolutely delicious. But of course we can't mention the wine without mentioning the cha-cha, which you will have to try if you're in Georgia. It's
We did
a
not.
Georgian brandy, which we don't really know the percentage of, but we've heard it can be over 60%, and we were even
Yeah.
given it by some of our hosts as shots that we had alongside our breakfast.
I'm down to clown next time we go back.
Just down it.
I want 100%.
Number 5 is the affordability. We
Sorry about that. Continuing.
£10 per person per night for a really nice guest house.
The
And you can get
affordability
a
if
decent
the
meal with
Russians
wine
are
for less than
flooding
£3
the
per
city.
person. If
Not
you're
that
willing to go
affordable
for
anymore.
bakery items for lunch or for getting bread
I
for
love
your
bread.
hikes, then it
I
can be
just
under
ate that
£1 for
straight
your
up.
meal and you will be as full as
We
anything.
didn't go to enough of the
Another
side
reason why it's so
bakeries.
No, we
affordable
didn't.
is because a lot of the activities you'll be doing will be free because you'll be
that where
hiking.
we hiked? Just
Hiking in the
walking through the
mountains, walking around cities, doing not much other than walking and eating, so you can keep it quite cheap. Transport between towns often costs only a few pounds, and in Tbilisi it is
Or
50
you could just
cents
buy a
or
car and not
30
use
p
it.
to do one journey on the metro.
Or even use the metro.
Nope.
Next up
just got
is the
bolts.
history. Georgia was the second Christian country in the world and also claims to have the oldest wine producing region of anywhere on the planet. Other than this, there's a huge amount of other history
we went
with
there.
its cave
Oh, yeah.
towns and more recently its Soviet roots. Stalin was actually born in Georgia in a town called Gori, which is only an hour away from Tbilisi,
We went to
and a lot
Gori
of
for a
people
little
visit
bit.
to go to the
Did.
museum. We didn't end up going in, but we did enjoy visiting the Soviet theme parks that were on hilltops in different towns in the country.
The view.
Number 7 is
Adventure.
opportunities for adventure in Georgia. Our single best experience of the
Should've
whole
done that.
trip, if
Next
not
time.
our whole lives, was when we
Let us know
flung
the best
ourselves
time
off a mountain
or best
and went
place to do
paragliding
something
over
like
the
that.
stunning mountain ranges of Georgia.
Whoa.
Other than this, you can see ice and rocks falling from a glacier, get in a 4x4 and go on an adventure up a mountain, or go on beautiful hikes
Those
over
mountains are
precarious
insane.
ridges. I guess another adventure that you can have is jumping in a taxi, where you'll be in an old rusting larder and have a driver that wants to race up the side of a mountain seemingly as
Oh,
close to the edge
gosh.
as possible. And that brings us on to number 8, the journeys. They say that when you travel, it's not always about reaching the destination, but about the journey to get there. And that is definitely the case when you're traveling in Georgia. We got a train that took us across the whole country, and for the entirety of the journey, there were just mountains passing by the window. If you're traveling by car or by bus, You shouldn't be surprised if you see lots of animals just in the middle of the road, or if you have to come to a sudden stop
pigs.
because there's a group of cows that you can't quite get around.
I'm gonna stand here.
The journeys are all a part of the experience of traveling in Georgia. Next up is the people.
The people.
When you arrive in Georgia, you'll be met with open arms, and you can really sense this feeling that to have a visitor is to have a gift from God. You'll arrive at guest houses, they'll welcome you in, and then the next morning you'll be given a huge breakfast with
All the
10
guest house
plates of
people were
different
always
things.
so nice to us.
And you'll have to try and sample all of it, but believe me, there will be no way that you will finish absolutely everything.
How's breakfast? A feast? Oh my gosh, how much is it? Jeez! That is so much.
We were walking through Tbilisi one day and we made a new friend called Eric, who saw that we were visitors to the town and asked us where we were going. We didn't quite know where a market was, so he took us with him and he led us directly to the market, explaining a little bit more about his country and explaining different items when we finally got to the market. And another day we were just walking through Kutaisi, another town in Georgia, when a lady just walked up to us and gave us a karaoke, a local fruit, and then just told us it was for us and walked
No one
off.
gave us a
But
karaoke.
perhaps
Come
my
on.
all-time favourite interaction
I don't like
that we
Georgia
had
anymore.
while we were in the country was when we were hiking in Sveneti, and a man called us over when we shouted Gamma Jabba or hello, and he tried to teach us how to scythe.
Yeah.
Whenever a man with a giant weapon says, come over here, you just go, okay.
There's times in Georgia where it's like, if we were in other countries, this might be a bad idea, but
Like getting into the car with those people.
when we were trying to buy a car, all of a sudden, we just like walk up, and the people were like, "Oh, hey," and we're like, "Oh," and we finally found them. It took a while to find them, and then we shook their hand, and then they were like, "Come on, get in the car," and we just squeezed back there. We're just like,
What is happening right now? The first time we get there, we get split up into 2 different taxis.
"Oh, they scammed us."
They scammed
those
us big
frackers.
time. Vlog on our channel about the big time scam.
I don't think I'm made for work in the fields.
It didn't go too well. And number 10, the dogs.
Doggo!
There is no way that I could have finished this video without mentioning
Oh,
our furry
doggo.
4-legged friends who welcomed us just as much as all of the humans that we encountered on our travels around Georgia. There were so many stray dogs, but what was nice was that these stray dogs weren't treated as a nuisance, but there was almost a sense of shared ownership over these dogs, and they would be fed and they would be looked after and they would be stroked and they would be loved, and we definitely did our best to give a lot of love to the dogs because they were fantastic. We made friends with dogs that would hike with us, we made friends with dogs that would stay with us just for a few moments, and on our last
The dog
day we
was so
made
happy.
friends with Tilly, who I almost didn't leave Georgia because she was so fantastic. But there you have it. They are the 10 things that we loved the most during our travels in Georgia. If you want to see any more of these experiences in greater detail, then please do check
Well,
out.
The dogs, we had our fair share of doggo friends that would follow us. And then we'd be like, oh, we don't want to leave you.
We had one, we gave him some scratches, and then he followed us forever, and then we tried to split up and see what he would do, and he ended up finding us. But then we just carried going further. We didn't want him to follow us and get by a car.
Yes, that would be bad.
Then you had a doggo, you want to feed some wafers. You couldn't
Oh, the
find any.
puppies.
And then we had some when we were just hiking out.
In the middle of nowhere.
Then all of a sudden a dog just comes sprinting by. We're like, oh, hey.
So it's,
It would just go past us. And then it would come back and just like sniff us a bit. Then just go back the other way. Then it'd go back again that way.
it's really interesting. But Georgia is a fun place. I want to go back and eat food right now so bad.
Khachapuri sounds amazing.
That sounds really, really, really good. Hopefully you enjoyed the reaction. Check out our vlog channel. We have literally like 20 Georgia vlogs on there. Just things happening. Ronnie's Pizza.
Oh, Ronnie's.
Going to the fortress. Going to the botanical gardens. Going all over the place. So good. So much food. Deliciousness. You'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one.